Also tonight, more on the growing calls for a Williston lawmaker to resign. The District 23 GOP now calling for Representative Nico Rios to step down following his DUI arrest and his behavior towards police. In a statement released this afternoon, the party says they've lost confidence in Rios' ability to represent the district's best interests. The NDGOP and House leadership are also calling for Rios to resign. Rios said in a statement on Wednesday that he would not immediately resign.